So now I'm going to walk you through an exercise of the for next loop. And then when this is done, I've got two other exercises that I want you to do. So I want you to go to the resources section for this lecture and to get the workbook, which is called For Loop Exercise. And then after I explain the exercise to you and you get to work, if you need any help or when you're done, there's a PDF document that shows the code. All right, but first things first, let's go through this first exercise on sheet 1. So what I have here is a list of 5 employees, and I have their vacation hours. Well, I want to give everyone an extra bonus of vacation hours. I want to give them 10% more of the current vacation hours they have. So Jim is going to have 44, Sarah 66, Sean 11, and so on. And I don't want to do this by hand, so what I'll do is create the code that increases that current number to give them 10% more. So let me head over to Visual Basic. And in Module 1, I started my procedure here. I gave it a really generic name of for next loop. And I'm declaring X here as my counter. It's going to go through all the rows for my employees for me. Then I have my opening for there. So I'm saying for X, again my counter, is going to be assigned 2 through 6. Okay, why did I pick 2 through 6 there? That's because taking a look at the Excel document, the first employee starts on line 2 and the last employee there is on line 6. All right, so let me head back because I'm working on this row by row. So now what I want to do is I want to change the value of whatever row I'm currently in, and remember I'm starting with row 2 there, and then column 2, increase that value by 1.1, and then assign it back to that cell. So that'll look like this. And I'm going to start on the right hand side here. So on the right side I've got cells, and then okay, which row and which column? Well, I'm starting with row X, which again is starting with row 2. And then column 2, which is my B column. So cells B2 dot value times 1.1. I'm saying to assign that to the value that's inside of B and then whatever row I'm in. And then increase that X by 1. So that'll make X 3. And when you put 3 into your cells now, so now it's cells 3, 2 dot value. So I'm now in row 3, column 2. And then do the calculations and then go to the next X, which is now 4. So now I'm in row 4, column B, and then it keeps going. It'll do it all the way for row 6. Then when it gets down to next X, 6 is going to be increased to 7. That'll be too much, and it'll exit out of the loop. All right, so let me go ahead and run this by hitting F5 on my keyboard. Switching back to Excel, and there are the new vacation hours. So again, going back to Visual Basic here, I'm telling VBA here which rows the employee information's on. That's on rows 2 through 6. And I'm telling it to go through rows 2 through 6 and update all the hours by 10%. So let me switch back to Excel. What I'm going to do, and what I've got 2 things for you to try, is that if you head over to sheet 2, you see the employees again and which cities they live in, and maybe someone forgot to put in the states. Well, what I want you to do is to figure out the code that puts California in for the state for each employee. Once you've done that, head over to sheet 3, and here I've got people living in San Diego, New York City, Long Island. I want you to put in California if they're from San Diego and the state of New York if they're not. So those are your 2 quick exercises with loops. Again, take a look at the PDF inside the resources section for this lecture. On the first page, it explains what I want you to do, and on the second page, you'll find the code.